Good afternoon, peeps. Brother Brent coming at you live on YouTube. Your lies do not dictate my life or how I live it or how I respond to your lies. Believe that and know that. I don't care one rip if you choose to identify as a toaster oven. Don't care. That's your right. That's your prerogative. But that's where your rights end. You can choose to identify as anything you want. That's your right. Doesn't make it true. But I have a son who identifies as transgender. And while I don't agree with his choices, and I don't agree with his lifestyle, I love him because he's my son. He can identify and claim to be a woman or transitioning to a woman all he wants. But no amount of hormones, no amount of surgery, no amount of claiming it makes it true. At the end of the day, he's a guy pretending to be a woman. By the same token, a woman who is transitioning to male is just a woman pretending to be a dude at the end of the day. There are only two genders. Science has proved that, God has proved that, and God doesn't make mistakes. Now, whatever goes on in people's minds that causes them to choose to live their life and identify however they choose to do so is between them and God, and not my circus and not my monkeys. But here's a message for the trans people. You have the right to identify as anything you want. But again, that's where your rights end. You do not get the right to come to the rest of us and demand that we honor your he, she, we, thee, whatever pronouns that are the opposite of what your body is. Because it's a lie, and I will not help you perpetuate your lie. You're pretending. When you say, I identify as this or that, you're saying, I pretend to be. Now, I have a bunch of outfits in my closet. I have a poop suit, I have a cow suit, a chicken suit, a unicorn suit. And sometimes, for silliness and shenanigans, I go put them on and go out to entertain and do silly things. But that doesn't mean or make me a unicorn, or a turd if I have the poop suit on, or a cow, or a chicken. It just means at that particular moment, I'm pretending and wearing an outfit. I'm portraying a character, pretending. You can sit here and say all day long that you're a man trapped in a woman's body, or a woman's trapped in a man's body. And to that, I say bull pudding. You have a mental defect going on in your mind, if that's what you honestly believe. You have issues that go beyond your sexuality or your identity, if that's what you believe. And I'm not trying to be snide, rude, or ugly. That's just what it is. But there is no myriad of genders. All these labels, LGBTQ, binary, non-binary, it's just a bunch of made-up hoo-ha and lies. Okay, so maybe you're a guy who wants to have sex with other guys. Maybe you're a woman that wants to have sex with other women. Maybe you're a guy that likes to have sex with men and women. Maybe you're a woman that likes to have sex with men and other women. Those are your choices. Those are things you choose about yourself and your lifestyle. It doesn't make you a different gender or a different person than what you were born to be. And as I said, God doesn't make mistakes. So you do not get the right to come to us and demand that if you're a man pretending to be a woman, that we call you she and ma'am and everything. That's not your right. And don't bring it to me, because I won't perpetuate your lie. You're perpetuating a lie. You're not a woman. You're a man pretending to be one. Or you're not a man. You're a woman pretending to be one. So I'm not going to call you he, she, ma'am, or whatever, something outside your actual gender than what you are. And I don't have to respect that, and I don't have to respect your choice to identify that way. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, and not my problem. And I don't owe you respect for that choice. I don't owe you the respect of different pronouns that don't apply to you. I love people just for who they are, and I accept them how they are. You want to have sex with same-sex people? That's on you. That's between you and God. That's not my business. The only thing I can tell you is the Bible says fornication of any kind is wrong. That's the only thing I can say. Anything else would be judging, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong in what you're doing. That's between you and God. The Bible says so. But again, that's between you and God. That's not my place. But you don't get to come at the rest of the world because you choose to identify as a man or a woman or as a potholder, as a toaster oven, and demand that the rest of us just accept that and roll with it. That's not how life works. And if you think it is, like I say, you've got a bigger mental problem than your sexuality. God doesn't make mistakes. God designed you who you are to be who you are for His purposes, not for yours, not for your pleasure, not for your entertainment, for His purposes. And again, you get to choose whether you want to follow His plan for your life or follow your own directions. Again, not my circus, not my monkeys. I can advise you and tell you the wise path would be to choose God and to seek His ways and His righteousness and what He wants for you. But see, that's a decision you got to make for yourself. Just like when you decide to identify as whatever you want to choose to identify as. It doesn't make it real. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make you a man or a woman if you weren't born that way. It just is what it is. And yeah, I know I'm going to get some emails and some hateful comments on this, but you know what? I don't care. People don't get to dictate their choices and expect my life to bow down and kowtow to it because they want to identify as something they're not. I don't have to respect that. I don't have to honor it. I don't even have to acknowledge it. I don't have to call you a feminine name. My son's got a thing, he says, I have a dead name. That was his birth name. You'll call me the... no, you don't tell me what I'll call you. I'll call you what your name is. You want your name to be something different? Go to court and get it legally changed. Don't come to me and demand I call you this, that, or the other thing. You don't have that right. Just like I don't have the right to tell you you don't have the right to choose to identify as whatever you want to. That is your right. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But don't expect everybody else on the planet to accept it just because it's what you think. Because what you think doesn't necessarily reflect the truth. I love everybody. I pray for everybody. I care about your eternal salvation and your relationship with God. That's what I care about. I don't care if you're a man pretending to be a woman or a woman pretending to be a man, or that you like to have sex with your other genders or your same gender. I don't care. Not my business. Again, that's between you and God. I can't tell you how to live your life. I can tell you what the Bible says. I can tell you what God's plan says, but you have to choose for yourself. But you don't come demanding to me and the rest of us like little kids wanting to have your own way just because this is something you want to pretend to do. Now, I don't know if this is a message or a rant or what it is, but somebody needs to hear this today. God doesn't make mistakes. Don't come to me demanding that I call you something that you're not, because I won't perpetuate your lie. That's all I got. Love you, peeps.